Hello everybody, my name is Edgy, and I am a Babiniku VTuber. Future me who's editing this video, can you please put up a definition for Babiniku? Thank you so much, I appreciate it. And if you're watching this video, you already know what this is about. I am a VTuber with cancer, and I guess I wanted to make kind of like a video journal to detail what I've been through and what I'm going through and what will be happening with me. This is actually my second time going through cancer. I had it before back in 2017. So I guess to really understand what's going on with me this time, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about what happened with me the first time to give you guys a little bit of context. I did consider making a video journal back then, before VTubers were, you know, a thing, and I was considering, you know, standing in front of a camera, sitting in front of a camera, and being like, hey guys, this is me, I'm going through cancer, this is my story, blah blah blah. But at the time I felt like not a lot of people would care. I've been doing videos for like a long time now, like, you know, putting stuff up on YouTube just randomly here and there. And I've never had a big following. I still don't have a big following or anything, but I've reached a point in my life where it's like, I don't know, if people watch it, they'll watch it. If they don't, then oh well, at least I did something. You know, I kind of stop caring about whether something gets views or not, and it's like, if I want to do a project, if I want to work on something, then I'm just gonna do it. So here I am. So let's go back to the beginning. Obviously, as you can already tell by now, but this is not really, this is not scripted in the least. It's all coming off the dome, so there's more likely than not gonna be like some cuts here and there to keep things coherent, and then I'll probably start splicing in some footage of me playing either like Persona or Monster Hunter or something, so you can have like your own little like Subway Surfers moment where you can just listen to me without having to just stare at my cute model with the stars in the background. Okay. So, how did we get here? This is my second cancer diagnosis. What happened the first time around? I'm gonna tell you right now. I was first diagnosed with testicular cancer back in, I believe it was February of 2017. And the thing about that is that, man, and you know, hindsight is 2020, as they say. Man, there were so many signs. There were so many signs leading up to it, and I just ignored so many like warnings. At the time, I was really into working out. I would go to this one gym, and I would do a ton of kickboxing. I would go to like these like kickboxing classes. Man, they were awesome. God, I miss kickboxing so much. But I would just like, I would give it my all, and I would come back like all like, you know, just completely drenched in sweat. But you know, if there's any people who have like worked out or are currently working out, you know that like after a good workout, you just feel so damn good. So I would just completely give it my all, just devote myself to those like kickboxing classes as much as I physically could. So because of that, I would be sore for like multiple days in like different parts of my body, and that would happen, you know, just like multiple times a week, and I wouldn't think much of it because, you know, eventually it would get better. It's like, oh, I'm just sore for a few days, whatever. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Doesn't really matter. The one part though that I really should have paid a lot of attention to was when, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Whatever. If I try to, you know, use like soft language, then people are not really gonna understand what the fuck I'm trying to say. One of my balls hurt like a bunch. And I'm like, was it because I kicked a little too high or something? Is that what happened? Like, instead of like my legs or my thighs getting sore, it's one of my balls that suddenly got sore. So I ignored it. And the soreness was there for like a couple of weeks. And then like eventually it went away. But then a few months later, it came back again. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? You know, I did, at around that time, I did hear, you know, hey, if you're a man, you should check yourself, you know, every now and then, maybe like when you're in the shower, you know, feel around in there and make sure that there's still like bumps or whatever. And I remembered that, so I did it. And one day I did feel a bump. And immediately, instead of, again, this is me being young and stupid, I was in denial about it. I was pretty much in denial about it. I didn't really do anything. I was like, maybe it'll go away in time. I don't know. I do. Again, I was working out a lot at the time, and that's all that I really just cared about. I didn't really care about, you know, anything else. So I just kept doing my thing until like eventually one day the pain came back, but this time it was on the left side of my chest. And that felt like a really, really bad cramp. And it got to the point where I felt like I couldn't really like work out anymore. Like one time it was so bad that I just did not finish. I wasn't like in the middle of one of my kickboxing classes, and I had to dip out like 2/3 of the way through, because it hurt so damn much. And again, I thought that it was that I had pulled something. I thought maybe like I pulled something like on the side of my chest. Maybe like I threw a punch a little bit too hard and I pulled a muscle. I wasn't sure what it was. And it wouldn't go away. That's the one that like, that was like the biggest like red flag that something was definitely 100% wrong. And it got so bad that like, it got to the point where at my job that I was working at the time, I had to like take a bunch of breaks. Like I would go to my supervisor and be like, hey, my chest hurts a lot. I don't know, I need to lay down or something. And man, the supervisor that I had at that job was a super nice guy, and he's like, okay, I understand. He was like, he took it very seriously. He was like, okay, I'll give you 20 minutes. I guess you can go to your car or something and like lay the seat down and then, you know, come back in. So that just kind of became the norm. Like by the time that I hit like the second half of my shift after I came back from lunch, like an hour or so after, like my chest would just start hurting a bunch. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? But again, I just would not question it. I would just be like, okay, well, this will eventually go away on its own. It's just like a bad cramp that I'm getting, probably because I pushed myself too hard again. I don't know, whatever. It happens. I mean, I'll be okay. I'm not super worried about it, is what I was thinking at the time. But then the pain just would not go away. It got to a point where it just would not go away. And one night when I was at home, it got so bad that I just could not sleep. I could not sleep at all. So I think it was like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. But I had to like wake up my mom and be like, hey, I think I'm gonna need to go to the hospital. I think I'm gonna need to go to the hospital because my chest hurts immensely. It hurts a ton, and I need to get checked out. At that time, I did not have any insurance, like, whatsoever. And I know that I said, you know, like a minute ago that I didn't really care much about it. But in the back of my mind, another reason why I never got myself checked out in any way, shape, or form was because up until that point of my life, I had never had health insurance. Or at least as an adult, I've never really had health insurance. So I was opposed to seeing any doctor or going to any hospital because it's like, well, they're going to charge me out the ass. I can't afford it because I live in America. You know how it is. Anyway. So we went to the hospital, right? And after being in the waiting room for a while, they finally let me in. They take some X-rays, I think it was. They take some X-rays. And then they put me in like a fancy recliner thing with like a bunch of other patients that are already, you know, inside. And then they get back to me a little while later, and they finally tell me, yeah, so here's what's going on. It seems like you have a tumor. It's like in your lung. It's like at the tip of your lung. Your left lung, and that's what is causing like this current pain. And I was hoping that they would, you know, while I was waiting to hear what the hell was going on with me, I was just hoping that they would tell me something like, oh, you know, push yourself too hard, maybe like take a week or two off, and then here's like some painkillers or whatever, and then the pain should go away. The last thing that I was expecting was for the nurse to come back and tell me that I had cancer. And at that point, I had been ignoring all the signs that there was something wrong with me for so long that, man, you know, looking back on it, I feel like I dodged a fucking bullet. But I had been ignoring the signs that there was something wrong with me for so long that it had progressed to stage 3. And as far as I'm aware, cancer goes up to stage 4. Stage 4, there's like basically no coming back from that. It's possible to come back from stage 4. Don't get me wrong. I know that some people have done it, but like, as far as I'm aware, for all intents and purposes, stage 4 is like a death sentence. So when they told me that like it was at stage 3, there were just so many fucking thoughts running through my head. It's like, oh, holy shit, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna be okay after this? Does this mean that like my days are numbered? And my mom was there with me, but like, my mom like mainly speaks Spanish, so I had to like translate to her what they said to me. And that just like hit her like a truck. That devastated her. She called, like, right then and there, she called my brother, she called my sister. They came to see me later that morning, because, like, by then, it was, I think, like, 5 or 6 a.m., and my sister already wakes up, like, super early for work, so she was, like, the first one, to come and see me before she left. And she was in tears, and she's like, what do you mean you have cancer? Like, how did this happen? Oh, man, it was rough. It was really rough. Just having to, I guess, like, slowly start telling, like, my friends and family. It's like, yeah, this is what's going on with me. Like, I guess they diagnosed me with cancer. This is what's happening. So I didn't get to leave the hospital. I was hoping that I would get to leave the hospital by the morning, you know, by sunbreak. That did not happen. Did I say it did not happen? It did not happen. There we go. So they took me in at the hospital. They said that I would need to get surgery done. And they would have to remove one of my testicles, the one that had the bump, the one that I mentioned earlier. So they had to take that out, just like Tom Green. Remember, the same thing happened to Tom Green? God, does this make any sense at all? Does anyone even remember who Tom Green is? Anyway, whatever. So they took out one of my boys. I lost one of my boys immediately. And they also started me on chemo right then and there at the hospital, soon after the surgery. And man, that was, at the beginning, it didn't really like affect me, I guess, because it was like the first time. And I guess maybe it was still like, I was still on the painkillers from the leftover from the surgery. But soon after I was out of the hospital, soon after I was discharged, I had to start like, I guess, proper chemo. So I had to go to like a specific place for it. It was like once every 2 weeks. And man, let me tell you, if you don't know what chemo is, if you don't know like what, well, I mean, no, hang on. Let me retract a little bit, because there's a bunch of different types of chemo as far as I'm aware. There's like radiation. There's also like chemo pills that you can take apparently. And there's the chemo that they put in you, like through your veins. At the hospital that I was at, they had also installed a chest port in me. So it was like this little thing. It was like under my skin on the top right of my chest, just right under my clavicle, just under the right side of my clavicle. And it looked like a little bump. It looked like a little bump. It wasn't like sticking out too much or anything, but you could tell that there was something there. And it was something that that health providers could use to like hook up an IV, basically. Or if they needed to take blood from me, they could also use the chest port, and they could get it very, very quickly that way. And since I was gonna go through the IV version of chemo, I needed the chest port. Man, getting on chemo, that was rough. Obviously, like, my hair was slowly falling out. One day my brother came to the apartment that my mom and I were living in. After he heard that like I was losing my hair, and he just came with a razor, like an electric razor, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna shave off your head. We're gonna do it right now." It's like, yeah, you know, that makes sense. Fuck it, let's do it. Halfway through, the stupid fucking razor like ran out of batteries. So at one point, I was just there in the living room with like a towel draped over me, like draped over my chest, and like with my hair like all kinds of fucked up while waiting for the damn electric razor to finish charging again. That took way longer than it needed, and I hated waiting there. But so that was obviously something that happens with chemo, losing your hair, man. And I love my hair a lot, and it's gonna happen again. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to losing my hair again, but it's gonna happen again. Another thing that I absolutely hated was that another side effect that I absolutely hated was that like the chemo made me nauseous. So when I was going to the place where they would do the chemo on me, I think like I would have to take like 2 bags of it, like 2 like IV bags of chemo into me, and like after the first one, I would start getting so like nauseous that I would have to like get up and just like and kind of like throw up in the restroom that they had there. Most of the time I would just it was like early enough in the morning that I would not have even had breakfast yet, so it was just me just like throwing up water basically. So it wasn't like super nasty or anything, but just like without fail, like it got to a point where that would just happen after I was done with the first bag. And then as I kept going through chemo, it got to the point where every morning when I woke up, just like tasting the I guess like the morning mouth taste that you have anytime that you wake up, that would also be enough to like to set me off, to set off my nausea to the point that I would have to also go and, again, throw up nothing, just like throw up water, because I had just woken up, I hadn't eaten anything. So they had to give me some, like, nausea pills to, like, help me control it. But I don't know if they really did anything, because I just kept throwing up water, like, every time that I went through the chemo and when I woke up most mornings. Oh man, what sucked the most was like, when you go through chemo, at least the type of chemo that I did, it also, like, burns away your taste buds. And by that I mean that, like, it basically, like, kills... Okay, hang on. Let me backtrack a little bit. Okay, for those who might not know, chemo is pretty much a double-edged sword. Chemo is basically poison because it kills the cancer cells in your body, right? But it's not like it specifically targets the cancer cells. It just goes after everything. It eats away at everything. So because it does that, your taste buds also get fucked up as a byproduct of that. So after I was done with chemo, it got to a point where, like, I would have to wait like 2, maybe 3 days before I could taste properly again. And for those few days, I would need to have, like, a very, very basic, mainly, like, liquid-based diet. I think, like, the only things that I could stomach at that point were just, like, breakfast shakes, like, protein shakes, and I think some Jell-O, certain flavors of Jell-O, and that was it, and then water, obviously. Because if I tried to eat anything while my taste buds were fucked up, like, everything would still smell fine. This is the worst part. This is what I hated the fucking most about chemo. Everything would smell fine. Like, if somebody was cooking something tasty, I could smell it properly, right? I could smell, oh man, someone's making steak. Oh shit, someone's making carne asada. Oh, someone's making chicken. Those are things that I love more than anything in the world. But because my taste buds were fucked up, if I tried to eat something while they were in that state, then it would just taste really, really, really bad. I remember there were, like, multiple times when I tried to eat chicken, and chicken would just, I think it would be one of the things that would taste like the most nasty while I had the post-chemo taste buds. Chicken would just taste horrible. Again, it would smell delicious, but if I tried to eat it, it would taste so damn bad that I would end up, like, throwing up again, because it tasted like, it tasted kind of like burnt plastic is the best way that I could describe it, but like a really, really, really nasty burnt plastic. I think, like, maybe, like, I don't know if anyone's ever, like, smelled what, like, a burning tire smells like, but imagine something kind of like that, like trying to eat a burning tire. But again, it would smell fine, but it would just taste terrible. That's the thing that I hated the most. I think cheese would also be super, super, super nasty if I tried to eat anything with cheese. So I would try boneless chicken wings with the buffalo sauce, and that also tasted nasty. I also tried boneless chicken wings with barbecue sauce. That tasted somehow even worse. Oh, man. So my go-to things were just, like, just Go-Gurt, Jell-O, fucking protein drinks. Those were the only things that I could have. Sometimes candy, certain types of candy would be okay. And, like, I mean, I like eating candy now and then, but, like, it got to the point where I felt like those were the only things that I could eat while my taste buds were all messed up. And, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I eat candy for a little too long, I feel bad, you know? If I have just a little bit too much candy, more than, like, I'm willing to snack on, I just feel really bad. And I mean, I know, yeah, that's the point. You're not supposed to, like, eat candy like it's your main food. But back then, I would just get so desperate to be able to eat anything, like anything at all, while my taste buds were messed up. And I am not looking forward to doing that again. Oh, man. Let's see, where are we at? Oh my god, I've been yapping for almost a full half hour. Well, maybe less, because I am gonna probably cut some stuff out. I think I'll end it here for now, and then next time that I do this, I'll talk about like some of my surgeries. I don't know. I don't know if this helps anybody. Again, this is mainly like a video diary for myself. Just putting it out there. I don't know if this is gonna do anything for anyone, if it's going to like inform anybody, but when I was going through cancer, like hearing stories of other people like persevering, that kind of gave me hope. I kind of enjoyed it, if that makes any sense. Not, you know, like all the horrible things that they went through. Obviously not, but just knowing that like they went through so much and they still came out on top. That's the part that I was there for, you know? Anytime that like I looked up stories or heard stories of other people with cancer. So if that's you, then hey, hang in there. You'll make it. You know? I believe in you. So you gotta believe in yourself too. You gotta do whatever you can. If that's you, if there's anybody else out there watching or listening to this, you got this. Just keep doing what you're doing. You'll be okay. Hey, thank you so much for watching or listening to my video. I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate you. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them and I'll go through them in an upcoming video. Other than that, you already know the rest. Like and subscribe. It'll really help my tiny little baby channel. And also, I have links in the description down below for my Twitch and Blue Sky if you have one, plus my Discord server. There's a lot of really cool people in there, so maybe consider joining that if you want. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye!